Today we take a closer look at a replica that I have spoken so highly of on this channel, and has every time that it's been showcased on this channel been completely demonetized by YouTube because they're scared of it. The HK UMP45. But on today's episode we're looking at none other than a product line from Tapp Airsoft that, if I didn't know any better, would say it's an absolute meme of an upgrade. It is the adapter that allows you to run your HK UMP45 on shotgun shells and HPA. And even though it's a little goofy, it has some merit, and I'll show you why. Deliver over to the table, again, another video with one of my favorite replicas that I have ever reviewed on this channel, the Umarex or VFC UMP45. And I have constantly been insanely impressed with its capability of gas efficiency, its success with consistency, its capability to fire underwater. If you haven't seen that video where I reviewed this thing, I highly suggest you check this thing out. All that, and of course, it's got the typical HK UMP45 slap that you can do with it, which is even better. Now, what I have for you today is an upgrade that was sent to me, sponsored from Tapp Airsoft, and this is the HPA shotgun shell adapter. Now, I'm actually really excited about this, and the main reason being is, you wouldn't believe it, but these shotgun shells hold more rounds than the UMP45 mag. The mags in the UMP45 only hold 25 rounds, and although that I believe that's equivalent to the real steel variation, these hold 30. They're also a ton smaller, a ton lighter, and you can keep a ton of them on your pouch at the same time. So obviously you have the benefit of, skipping away from these. The UMP45 is not one that suffers from cooldown or anything very much. It's very, very impressive. If you have the need to look for another replica and you like the way this thing looks, just pick one up. Trust me, just pick one up. You'll thank me later. The only thing that I have to say is the round capacity is super low. This will now allow us to run these, like I said, and it should increase our round capacity to 30 rounds. The only thing is, obviously, there's like a displacement method. So when you do insert these, you lose a few BBs because these are just like a space holder. So the first one you'll have less than 30. The second one you'll now have a consistent 30 because of like the displacement method. If there's like 5 in here and you put a new one in, it'll use those 5, but 5 more will replace it. Now, something really cool about the Tapp adapters is they do hold the BBs up in the place, and you're not going to lose those 5 when you take it out. You might lose like 1 or 2. And then here looks like your release for the shells. So when you put it in, it gets stuck and then it comes out. So let's test one that's empty. These are the SEMA shells. See if they fit. It does fit, and it locks in place, no problems. And it should be spring loaded, so when we press this, it should pop out, which is even cooler. You don't have to go like digging your finger in there at all. You can see the HPA line runs up into the top, and then it works just like it's almost like a conversion to like just a standard GBB mag. If you look at this one, the build of it, it's very boxy. It's got the feed lips, the router, the valve, and so on and so forth. It just runs on HPA, so you don't have to worry about cooldown and stuff, and it'll work better 100% in the cold. So that's cool. Now, when we do throw this one in, you'll see that displacement method of the BBs. So we'll press it in place. This is the, what are these? These are Jagarm shells. It's a little finicky to get those in. They kind of want to push forward a little bit, so you have to push them back a tad bit. And then when we press this in, the BB should load here. And that's how you know it worked successfully. And we're stuck in place. And then when we take it out, let's see how many come out. Looks like 2. Great, my wife's going to kill me. But you still have the handful in there, so you don't lose all of them, which is super nice. Now, lastly, let's see how it works in the UMP45, because naturally so, with a lot of mags, they tend to be loose. And you don't want them very loose because of the connections with the router to the nozzle. These are a plastic on plastic, so usually the tolerances tend to be better on those, I found. Yeah, there's actually no movement side to side, and there's a little front to back, and I've used these a ton and abused them. Like you can see, they're not brand new by any means. And let's see how this guy fits into the body. Having trouble locking that in place.
Why can't we lock that in? What are we not catching on? Okay. Doesn't look like we're catching on the rear. Is it the nozzle that's causing a problem? Okay, so I had to pull the bolt back first, which isn't a problem because this isn't going to be coming out or in at all. So that seems to have solved that problem. Now the bolt closed. Okay, we did feed around and we're stuck in place. So open the bolt before you put it in. It is a little movement front to back and 0 side to side, none up and down either. So that's super cool. I want to take this out on the field now and see how it works and how consistent it is, if it's successful, and obviously if there's any leakages. So let's take it out now. With the UMP45 now out at the range, I just want to run a standard green gas mag through it for proof of concept, just that it works. And we'll run the burst function for now. 3, 2, 1. It's not even the burst function. That is. And obviously everything ran nice and smooth. Cook it again with the adapter now, and we have all of those rounds up in the center, so obviously every single shell we do insert into here is going to wind up being the full 30 rounds. I believe we're supposed to charge the handle back first before we start, otherwise the initial plug and play of the adapter is going to force a ton of gas, or I guess compressed air, through the chamber, and it's like a obnoxiously high amount in comparison to what it should be, and that could cause some long-term damages. So first what I'm going to do, like I said, I charge the handle back. We have our HPA tank set up to 100 PSI. They recommend 120. We'll kind of mess around with it. We're going to start with 100 just to make sure it's not too high, and then we'll go ahead and plug and play into the UMP. Nice and snug. It's not moving up and down, right or left. A little bit forward and backwards, but there's really not much movement there. Now we should be ready to roll. We'll start it in semi. I have a slew of shells, 2 for each. We're going to see if we can successfully run 2 full shells on semi, 2 full shells on burst, and then 2 full shells on full auto, and see how it goes. So we'll toss our first shell on in. You got to really press it on in there. And we should be good to roll. And again, like I said, we're going to run this on semi first, and we'll see if we can dump all 30 rounds. It's feeding just fine, no problems there. Super snappy, and it doesn't feel like there's any excess cooldown, obviously, because, well, there's no gas flowing through the chamber. It's just compressed air now. Okay, so the bolt will not lock back, obviously, because it's not the standard mag. It doesn't have that lock back function. So when it does stop firing like any AEG would, you're just going to head and pop this out. It should just eject from the base. And then we'll throw our next shell right on in. This one is a JagArms shell. Kind of a little finicky to get on in there. And then we should be able to just start firing again. The first one should have no BBs. And then the second one should have fed one. Perfect. And we'll see if we can catch this one. Okay, let's flip this guy into burst. We'll get another shell on in and see how it feeds and functions when it comes to burst. 3, 2, 1. Seems to feed okay. It's not misfeeding at all. It doesn't feel like any stuttering. And then obviously we're all out of rounds. Go ahead and pop that guy out. Now, if you know this replica, like I've said a couple of times, without any of the upgrades or anything like that, it is an unbelievable replica, and it functions almost perfectly every time with the standard gas mag. So it's nice to see that this mag is working so far. And we'll run our second round on burst. And we're all out. Now, the last function, which tends to be the most finicky, is the auto on most of these adapters. So we'll see if the adapter and the air can keep up with the full auto of the UMP45. This is a one of the faster replicas that you'll fire. It is unbelievably quick out of the box, so hopefully it can withstand the full auto. So here we go, 30 rounds downrange. No problem at all. And then we'll get our last and final shell. These ones are the SEMA shells, so it seems to take any of the shells just fine. I believe these are all spec'd to the same, so any of those standard 30 round shells will work, from my understanding. Here we go, last one. And it works just fine. Doesn't feel like skipping at all. Doesn't look like we're chewing up the adapter at all either. And the nozzle seems like it's in just fine condition, which is honestly, what more can you ask for?
Now, like I said before,
It's very rare we don't see something of quality come from Tapp, and if you're an HPA guy and you're tired of carrying around clunky mags and you're just looking for something that fits nice, sleek, and clean inside of a UMP45, which is a replica that if you haven't checked out before, I'm telling you it's affordable and you should check it out, this might be the next option for you. It allows you to run the HPA that you're looking for. This piece is a little bit risen. I might be able to tighten that screw down a little bit. That's not really grounds for concern, though. It doesn't seem to be much of an issue at the moment. Seems just fine. But, yeah, thanks a lot, Tapp, for sending this guy out. It functioned as it should. What can I say? I love the little ejection function. Look.
catch you on the next one.